Let's talk about Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. As I record this video, they are 3-0 to start the 2025 season. But it's not just your regular 3-0. They're 3-0 in this division. Their first 3 games were against Kansas City in Brazil, the Las Vegas Raiders on the road, Monday Night Football, and the Denver Broncos at home. We're going to cover every single last one of these games and why the Los Angeles Chargers look elite so far in the season. Now, we have a long ways to go. We have 14 games left in the regular season. But when you look at Justin Herbert in this system with Greg Roman in the regular season, he has been phenomenal. We saw what he was able to do last year. He only had 3 interceptions on the season. He was able to go out there and make those precise throws over and over again. And last year with the Los Angeles Chargers, the biggest questions were offensive line protection. You did have Rashawn Slater at the time. He was fully healthy with Joe Alt. They were a top tackle duo in the NFL. Now, we all know that Rashawn Slater got injured in the offseason. He hasn't played a single down, and he won't play a single down this season. But the interior of the offensive line was a huge question mark. And the wide receiving position was a question mark as well because Coach Harbaugh came in. They traded Keenan Allen to the Chicago Bears. You cut Mike Williams. So your number 1 and number 2 target was Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston. And let's start off with Quentin Johnston here because Quentin Johnston has gotten a lot of hate in the past. His rookie season wasn't the best. He had a lot of drops. When he saw the field, he didn't look particularly good in terms of catching the football. Last year, he performed better, but he still left a lot of meat on the bone. So far this season, Quentin Johnston, you can make the case as a deep threat that he's been the most consistent target on the Chargers. Now, in terms of catching the football, that is still Keenan Allen because he has that rapport with Justin Herbert and that chemistry from the past. But Quentin Johnston, 14 catches, 239 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. He was phenomenal week 1 against Kansas City in Brazil. Was constantly getting open over and over again. If you need the big play, you go to QJ. In week 2 against the Las Vegas Raiders, he had a beautiful play going deep down the field. Came down with yet another touchdown. He's the first player in Chargers history to have 3 receiving touchdowns in 2 games since Antonio Gates. Route running has always been smooth. The speed has always been there coming out of TCU. It was just his hands, and now he has that confidence. If you look at Quentin Johnston on the sideline, he's no longer out there having his head down. He's talking with Justin Herbert. He's talking with Coach Harbaugh and the same with other coaches on the sideline. That is what you love to see. He looked lost as a rookie because he had a terrible head coach in Brandon Staley. But now you look at the situation with Justin Herbert. He even has that extra confidence, and this has all happened because of Coach Harbaugh. Look at what he did at the college level with Michigan. He won big. He won a national championship. He was elite at Stanford with Andrew Luck. Everywhere Coach Harbaugh has been, he's been a winner. Even many years ago with the San Francisco 49ers, him and Greg Roman, they helped develop Alex Smith to that next level, and the same with Colin Kaepernick. And it starts with the offensive line and that protection up front and giving that confidence to their players. They'll go for it on 4th down. That's what happened in that first matchup against Kansas City in Brazil. It was fourth and short. They did not run the football particularly well in that matchup with the running backs in Najee Harris and the same with Amarian Hampton. But it didn't matter. 4th and 1, we'll run the football. We'll get it because we're tougher than you. And that's the mindset that Coach Harbaugh has with this team. But Justin Herbert in week 1 against Kansas City, 25 of 34. 3 passing touchdowns, 318 passing yards. And the rushing yards were elite in this matchup. He had 32 rushing yards. He had the one play goes off to the side. Chris Jones missed the contained coverage. He goes for the first down, ices out the game. And the pass with Coach Lombardi when he was the offensive coordinator, and even the same with Kellen Moore, Justin Herbert would not use his legs. He just wanted to stay inside the pocket, make those elite level throws over and over again. And you know what? That's great. But Coach Harbaugh came over in that first press conference that he had with the reporters. He said that he saw a lot of talent with Justin Herbert inside and outside the pocket. This is what he's talking about. And when you look at Greg Roman, he's not going to go out there and come up with different type of passing concepts that are very creative, like Kyle Shanahan, like Coach LaFleur. That's fine. He is known for moving his quarterbacks from sideline to sideline with Alex Smith, with Colin Kaepernick, and the work that he did with Lamar Jackson. Don't sleep on Greg Roman as an offensive coach. The play calls might not be the sexiest. They may not be the most creative, But I can tell you right now, he helped Lamar Jackson become an MVP. He played a central role with the San Francisco 49ers. He stepped away from the Baltimore Ravens. Then he comes back a couple years with the Chargers. And we got to see Justin Herbert. His numbers did take a step back in terms of yardage and passing touchdowns, but he was still able to go out there and have an elite level completion percentage. Because Greg Roman's going to be a bunch of curls, a bunch of slants, a bunch of out routes. Get the football out quick, make those guys come up, then we can throw the football deep down the field. You can make the case as a passer, this is the most talented quarterback that Coach Harbaugh has ever coached, and the same with Greg Roman. And I know Andrew Luck was a dog, but that's at the college level. I'm talking at the NFL level here. And that's no offense to Lamar Jackson. He's a phenomenal player. He's a two-time MVP for a reason. But just standing inside the pocket, the throws that Justin Herbert has made so far this season have been phenomenal. And against the Las Vegas Raiders, this is more so of a conservative game because your defense had 3 interceptions. Just wait until I get into the defense here with the Chargers. But Justin Herbert, 19 of 27, 242 passing yards. I mentioned the passing touchdown deep to Quentin Johnston. And he had 9 rushes for 31 rushing yards in this matchup as well. It's just Justin Herbert going out there and making those big-time throws over and over again to Ladd McConkey, and the same with Keenan Allen. Quentin Johnston has been so good to where Ladd McConkey hasn't even gotten talked about just yet by a lot of people in the national media because they have fell back in love with Quentin Johnston because he's a former first-round pick. But Ladd McConkey is still a dog on this roster inside the slot position. 15 catches, 163 receiving yards. And this is the role with Ladd McConkey, even dating back to last season. When it's third down and short, he's a safety blanket target. When it's second down and you need some yards there in tough situations, you go to Ladd McConkey. If you're in the goal line, Ladd McConkey's going to be the go-to guy. Now you bring back Keenan Allen because, like I mentioned before, you trade him to the Chicago Bears. He was a free agent. He wanted to come back to the Chargers, especially when Mike Williams went down. And he said, you know what? I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm out. Now, I wish him nothing but the best moving forward. You bring back Keenan Allen, and now this is an open offense at the wide receiving position. You just can't go out there and double cover one player. It was so many times last season, they're just putting roll coverage on Ladd McConkey because he's inside the slot. You're not going to press a slot wide receiver. You'll be crazy to, especially if he's elite with his quickness. So you just put roll coverage out there. You double team him. You take him away. Teams have tried to do that so far. Kansas City tried to do that in week 1. He goes to Keenan Allen. The Raiders tried to do that. He goes to Keenan Allen. And Keenan Allen comes down with those touchdowns. As long as Keenan Allen can stay fully healthy, he's going to go out there and give you consistent numbers in the red zone. 19 catches, 194 receiving yards so far this season, 3 receiving touchdowns. He's averaging a first down a catch. And when those wide receivers, when they're not the main guys to go to, you can give Marion Hampton the football at the backfield as a wide receiver. He can catch the football at the backfield. That's why I selected him in the first round, because of his ability in terms of being explosive coming out of the backfield. Will Dissly and Tyler Conklin. Now, Tyler Conklin had a lot of good plays in week 1 against Kansas City. But let's talk about the run game here for a second, since I already just brought up Marion Hampton. They haven't ran the football very well just yet. I know that they ran the football better against the Denver Broncos in game 3. But I'm still waiting for that signature game by Greg Roman and Coach Harbaugh, because you know that is coming, to where they give the running back 20, 25 touches in a game. And they just go out there and they just completely take over and they take that pressure off of Justin Herbert. Last year, their run game, statistically, it was solid. But they got a lot of big splash plays on the ground with J.K. Dobbins. And the same with Gus Edwards when he was fully healthy. But consistently on a drive-to-drive basis, their run game was stalled out. You drafted Marion Hampton in the first round for a reason. He had 70 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown against the Denver Broncos, a tough front. He only averaged 4 yards a carry. I expect for Marion Hampton to get better as the season progresses. And when we worry about these young running backs, Christian McCaffrey, he didn't hit the ground running just yet early on with the Carolina Panthers. It took a couple of weeks. The same with Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry, a lot of people forget this. He was basically a rotational back at that point in time behind Deion Lewis with the Tennessee Titans. And now you look at him. He's one of the best players in the league. So sometimes a running back position, it takes time. But Marion Hampton so far has been a solid player. Najee Harris did go down with Achilles injury against the Denver Broncos. I hope that it's not serious. I hope it's one of those situations where it's just a sprain. And I don't want to speculate on his injury. But Najee Harris has had a tough go at it. The firework incident that happened this offseason, he had to miss a lot of training camp because he was dealing with the eye injury. That's why they haven't ramped up his carries. And Najee Harris does more for the Chargers than just be a very good running back in terms of just going out there and picking up 3 to 4 yards at a time. Pass protecting. He's a very good pass protector, a very good pass blocker. A lot of us, we sleep on that. We look at running backs, we're looking for the big plays. We're saying, man, just go out there and give me this 50-yard rushing touchdown in a crucial situation. But sometimes you go out there, it's a short route concept. Can your running back pick up the blitz? Najee Harris has the body type to do that. Right now, Marion Hampton, I don't know if you consistently want him to do that just yet. And if Najee Harris is down, the second best running back on this roster besides him would be Hassan Haskins, because obviously Marion Hampton's your number one. Hopefully Najee Harris can stay fully healthy, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. And another reason why the run game hasn't been as efficient, we're still early on into the season, they missed Rashawn Slater on the right side. Trey Pipkins has done a solid job at right tackle, but Rashawn Slater is a do-it-all player, man. In terms of going out there, being a guy that you could pull around and just knock linebackers to the next level, holding up his end of the deal and sealing the edge. They don't have that right now with Trey Pipkins. And Mekhi Becton had a superstar year last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's still getting into his groove because he was dealing with injuries this offseason. And you still have Bradley at the center position. Bradley is a great locker room leader. He'll take up for Justin Herbert. I remember the play last year, Justin Herbert's getting gator rolled by a Saints player. Here comes Bradley. Out of nowhere, protects his quarterback. But as a pass protector, as a run blocker, he's not that good. He can't get that push up front. But I think over time, the run game will get better. Let O'Marion Hampton get fully engraved in the NFL system, and he'll be fine. But right now, it is a weird sighting to see Justin Herbert go out there and carry this offense on his back in a Greg Roman offense. He had 47 pass attempts against the Denver Broncos. He had 300 passing yards. He got sacked 5 times. Broncos have a tough defense, and he had that one interception. What I would say about this game against the Broncos, in the past, historically, and if you are a Chargers fan, you know where I'm about to go with this. When they had head coaches like Anthony Lynn, the same with Brandon Staley and Mike McCoy many years ago. I'm going old school here. They would usually lose a game like this because they were up 10-0. Then it was 10-17. Usually the Chargers in the past, they would lose that matchup. They'll roll over and they'll say on the next week. They stuck in this game all the way through, defensively and offensively. And we saw Justin Herbert become a madman late in this game. Hufanga had a dumb penalty on Keenan Allen. It was a beautiful route by Keenan Allen, middle of the field. Here comes Hufanga. He slams him on the field. Keenan Allen keeps his composure. Everyone else does. Penalty flag. 10-yard penalty. You move him up. And you just see Justin Herbert constantly go out there and make tough throw after tough throw. They're putting immense pressure on him, and yet he's still delivering the football to only where the wide receiver can get it. And who was the leading wide receiver in this matchup yet again? It wasn't Ladd McConkey. It was Quentin Johnston. 6 catches, 89 receiving yards. And Keenan Allen gets that receiving touchdown with 65 receiving yards. Marion Hampton, 59 receiving yards. And he also had the 70 rushing yards. Well over 100 yards from scrimmage. You love to see that. And Ladd McConkey, 4 catches, 41 receiving yards. This is the right offense that you want to have right now. Especially with Justin Herbert clicking the way that he is behind the line of scrimmage. When Justin Herbert is red hot, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the game. The thing is with Justin Herbert, can he carry this over to the postseason? We all know in the regular season, he's phenomenal. And even the postseason argument, I feel like it's not a fair conversation. Because that first playoff game was with Brandon Staley. They had the game won, and coaching let him down in that matchup on the offensive end and the same on the defensive end. And Brandon Staley was a defensive head coach. Now, when we go back to 8 months ago where they lost against the Houston Texans, yes, he had 4 interceptions in that matchup. He has to be better. But with this being year 2 with Coach Harbaugh, they're off to a phenomenal start on the offensive end. They look like a Coach Harbaugh coach team. Be aggressive, run the football, take shots with my talented quarterback, give him the confidence to go out there and run around and make plays. And now we have these wide receivers that can beat you all over the field. Quentin Johnston deep, intermediate routes. Keenan Allen, because he's still one of the best route runners in the game. And underneath, we have Ladd McConkey. And we'll also give Marion Hampton the football out of the backfield, so be careful. As far as the defense here, Jesse Mentor, he continues to coach like this, and I said this last season. He's going to be a head coach in this league one day. Whenever the Chargers are dealing with injuries on the defensive end, whenever the Chargers are down and they're behind the 8-ball, he comes up with these sneaky blitzes out of nowhere, and he puts that pressure on the quarterback. And I know what a lot of Kansas City fans may say, well, in week 1, Xavier Worthy went down. We didn't have Rashee Rice. The Chargers have dealt with injuries. Last year, they were missing their top 2 tackles, and Justin Herbert had an ankle sprain. No one was complaining then. No one brought up the fact that Najee Harris was not fully ready to go in week 1, and that this team did not have Rashawn Slater. So I don't want to hear the excuse argument for Kansas City in week 1. They still did a phenomenal job against one of the best quarterbacks in the game, and Patrick Mahomes, and the same against Travis Kelce. You can only play with the players that you have. But they were able to get to Patrick Mahomes. They were able to press up those wide receivers and be aggressive. In week 2 against Geno Smith, they made his life a living hell. Any type of deep pass, it was going to go for an interception. They had 3 interceptions in that matchup, and they did a phenomenal job of stopping the run. This is why that 3 safety look is phenomenal. Because Derwin James, he is listed as a safety, but he plays as a linebacker and he hits as a linebacker. You have him on the field, he just lets him roam around. This is a man that covered tight ends in space. He covered wide receivers underneath. He could cover the deep passes over the top. He's a do-it-all Swiss Army knife. He's a huge tackler. And they will also blitz him off the edge. It's not always about the sack numbers. Sometimes it's about just going out there and creating pressure and forcing that quarterback to feel that pressure to make bad decisions. And that's what Jesse Mentor has done. That's what he did against Patrick Mahomes. That's what he did against the Las Vegas Raiders. And the same against the Denver Broncos, because late in the matchup, Cortland Sutton is wide open deep. And I'm talking about the last play here. It's early into the game. He's wide open deep. That blitz hits home. Bo Nix just couldn't hit him. The ball came up short. Those are great defensive play calls by Jesse Mentor. And they play in today's game without Khalil Mack. Now, Khalil Mack's going to miss an extensive amount of time. Coach Harbaugh never came out and he never said what was wrong with Khalil Mack's elbow. This is what Coach Harbaugh does, by the way. He did this with the 49ers. He did this at Michigan. He did this all the time in Michigan. A player will be dealing with an injury. He'll never go into deep detail. He'll just say, hey, yeah, we'll see him when we see him. He just places him on IR. He's one of those coaches. While Khalil Mack is out, they are going to miss him. But this is why you have Thule. This is why you have Bud Dupree. And this is why you drafted Kyle Kennard. The writing is on the wall for Khalil Mack. He's not going to play forever. He is still an awesome football player. But he's not the same Khalil Mack that he once was. He's not the same Khalil Mack with the Chicago Bears. He's not the same Khalil Mack with the Raiders. Still a talented football player that can get to the quarterback, that can seal the edge. But he's getting older. It's time for the new guys to step up. Now look at someone like Kyle Kennard. This is your time to go out there and to be a very good and productive pass rusher. And the same with Caleb Murphy. You have Henley at the linebacker position. He's solid. Denzel Perryman, he's on IR right now. And the same with Junior Colson. I just want to see Junior Colson play for 5 games straight in this system because he's a former Michigan linebacker and he was phenomenal at Michigan. He knows his system with Jesse Mentor. And Jesse Mentor is the former defensive coordinator for Michigan. That was the last season with Coach Harbaugh. The secondary, Dante Jackson has been a very good speedy corner on the back end of this defense. The same with Gilman at the safety position. We'll see when Elijah Molden can stay fully healthy. When he comes back, he's a very good playmaking safety. And you have Steele. This is a talented Chargers team. And this is the same team last year that defeated the Atlanta Falcons, and they didn't score a single offensive touchdown. That's how good this defense can be. But to go out there and win your first 3 games is amazing. But these are 3 division games back to back to back. And I have the Los Angeles Chargers being a legit contender this year in the NFL if they can stay fully healthy. And it will only continue to get better moving forward. Coach Harbaugh is the perfect head coach of this team. Greg Roman, very good offensive coordinator. Justin Herbert, in my opinion, one of the most talented and is one of the best quarterbacks in the game today. And you have Jesse Mentor. The sky's the limit. You just have to stay fully healthy. And with Kansas City, as I record this video, they're 0-2. You stay aggressive, you keep your foot on the gas, and you keep going in this division. The Raiders are still this rebuilding team right now with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll, but they're going to try to come out for blood Unfortunately for them, the next time they'll see the Chargers, they'll be the road team. So let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers starting 3-0 on the NFL season? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless.